Hey there! Welcome to Rise Up Namibia. My name is Metyanata, aka the resistor of bad and the lover of good, hashtag dark and lovely _ walk by faith and not by sight. So, in today's video, we're going to be looking at some binary subtraction. We have the examples on the screen. If you want to try them out before we check them out, feel free to pause the video now. Without further ado, let's dive into today's lesson. So get your pens and your notebooks ready, okay? So, here we have the binary numbers 101 minus 11. So how do we subtract these two numbers? First of all, we'll be using the subtraction rules, okay? Or the binary subtraction rules over here. So let's carry them out. So number one, we write the two binary numbers underneath each other. Then we start using the rules. So from the right hand side, what is 1 minus 1? We check the rules. 1 minus 1 is 0. So we write down there a 0. Okay? And then we check the next column. We have 0 minus 1. What is 0 minus 1? So here we have 0 minus 1 equals to 1 with a borrow of 1 from the next column. So meaning before we subtract here, we need to borrow a 1 from the next column. So do we have a 1 at the next column? Yes. So we borrow that 1. So we cancel it, it becomes a 0, and then we borrow it there. Okay? Now in binary subtraction, or let me say in binary, 1 0 is like saying number 2 in the decimal number system. Okay? So wherever you see binary subtraction and you have a 1 0 minus 1, the answer will be 1. Okay? So here it is. 1 0 minus 1, the answer is 1. So we put the 1 there. Okay? So this is just a 0. So 1 0 is our final answer. Okay? Easy, isn't it? Let's take a look at B. So we write these two numbers underneath each other. Then we start on the right hand side. What is 1 minus 1? 1 minus 1 is 0. So we write down there 0. Then you ask yourself, what is 0 minus 1? Remember 0 minus 1 equals to 1 with a borrow of 1 from the next column. Now when you are here, you check. Do you have a 1 in the next column? No, there's no 1 in the next column. Meaning you will check in the next column again. Is there a 1 to borrow? Yes, here we have a 1. So meaning you will cancel that 1. It becomes a 0. Then you borrow a 1 here. Now remember what I told you in the previous example. I told you that 1 0 is like saying number 2 in the decimal number system, isn't it? Now remember we have to borrow a 1 here. So cancel out this 0 so that this cannot be equals to a number 2, but it can only be 1. And then we take the 1 where we borrow it here. Okay? So because this is now 1 0 minus 1, what will the answer be here down below? 1 0 minus 1 will be 1. So this one, 1 0 minus 1 will be 1. But for this one, this is only 1 minus 1. Okay? Because we cancelled out the 0 to borrow it here. So 1 minus 1 equals to what? 1 minus 1 equals to 0. So we put the 0 there. Okay? And then here we have 0 minus 1 again. So meaning we have to borrow again. So we cancel out this 1, which will become a 0. And then we borrow the 1 right here. So what is 1 0 minus 1? It will be 1. Okay? So 0 minus 0 will be 0. And then 1 minus 1 will be 0. Okay? So if you have to, each time you are asking yourself here, always check the rules. Okay? If you haven't grasped these rules yet, always check. So basically that's our final answer. Let's take a look at example number 3. So here we have a fractional part. How do we subtract two binary numbers that have a fractional part? So we use the same rules, but first let's write it or let's write these two binary numbers underneath each other. Now what you want to do is you always want to align the point, okay? So first you write down your first binary number, and then when you are writing your second binary number, make sure these points, they align, okay? Then from there on, you just carry out the normal binary subtraction like we did in the previous examples. So you ask yourself, what is 1 minus, so there's nothing, it's like saying 1 minus 0. So 1 minus 0 is equals to 1. So we write down there 1. Then 0 minus 1, you need to borrow. So you will come here, you cancel this out. So it will become 0, and then you'll have a 1 there. So 1, 0 minus 1 equals to what? It's equals to 1. Then 0 minus 1. So meaning you need to borrow again. So we'll go over this comma, we'll borrow here. It will become a 0, we put the 1 there. And then 1, 0 minus 1 is equals to 1. So here we got the point, so we put the point there. And then 0 minus 1 equals to what? We'll need to borrow. So we'll check at the next column. Do we have a 1? No, it's a 0. So we move on to the next column here. Do we have a 1? Yes. So we'll borrow from that 1. So it will be cancelled out to be 0. Then we'll borrow the 1 here. Now mind you, we don't need necessarily the 1 here. We need it to go to the next column here. So what do? We cancel out the 0, and then we move a 1 here. So here we'll have 1, 0. Now remember, 1, 0 minus 1 equals to what? It equals 1. Okay? And then you check, what is 1 minus 1? Because remember here we cancelled out the 0, so it's the same as saying 1 minus 1. It will just be 0. Then 0 minus 0 will be 0. And then 0 minus 1, we need to check if we can borrow, because we need to borrow. So yes, we have a 1 here, so it will be cancelled out, it become a 0, and then we'll have a 1 here. So what is 1, 0 minus 1? 1, 0 minus 1 equals to 1. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our final answer. Easy, isn't it? So basically what you need to bear in mind are these rules, okay? So you need this binary subtraction to be able to do the binary division, okay? So hopefully you did grasp how to do binary subtraction. We will be looking at the binary division next, okay? So thank you very much for watching this video. Please do like, subscribe, turn on that notification button to be the first to see the next upload, share with friends, family and classmates, and remember, together we rise to higher heights, apart we all stay behind. Cheers!